Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night. The weekend is right. It's 7 o'clock, which means there is a great possibility that you may see the Cowboys OG podcast. And voila. Back by popular demand, we are in the building. What's going on tonight? We're here. Grateful, of course, to hang with the brothers again tonight as we discuss Cowboy news and updates as we are getting extremely closer and closer to the NFL draft. And obviously, there's always something to talk about in Cowboy land, and we're here for it. Certainly, I am not alone, as you can see. I got my brothers with me. I got my fraternity brother in the house, Cowboy Joe, is in the building. Yeah. And the crowd goes wild. They go wild, old Cowboy Joe. And then, of course, right in the middle there is what I consider the glue of the three. Middleman. He's a bad boy. You've been watching his channels. All these guys are bad. B Bird is in the house.
Going on?
Voila, in the building. And then, of course, most of you know me big time in the house. And here we are. We don't want to waste your time before we get started. I hope you guys will share. And I hope you guys will have your comments going. Let me say hello to everybody that is in all these various channels. Even the ones that my guys can't see, but of course I can see because I'm on there now, which is, of course, Kick and TikTok. And I haven't looked at TikTok yet, but I'm doing it now just to say hello to the family over there because they show up for the old boy. And I'm excited about them coming to hang with me on tonight. So hello to all of you, the TikTok family. Hope that you guys will enjoy the show on tonight. Don't want to waste too much of the time. Not a lot that went on in Cowboy land this week, but there's still talk that's going on, and hopefully, I'm gonna let you guys in on this. Listen, we don't put notes on here, so we don't know what we talking about. We just go at it. So we're here. We don't know. I don't know what Joe gonna lead off with, or whatever he want to lead off with. We gonna talk about it. So Joe, as they say in the club, the dance floor is yours, brother. What's going on?
Man, I'm good. Good to see you guys. So while we compose our thoughts, I'm gonna just take us back for a minute. And you've mentioned this on a couple of shows about how many Super Bowls we've seen, each one of us. And I'm gonna bring some controversy later about this draft too. So just FYI.
Cool.
So I went back and looked at this. So I think I might be the most senior Cowboy content creator because I've seen all 8 Super Bowls. Okay. So now Super Bowl 5 was played on January 17, 1971. I had just turned 7 years old. And we were at my family friend Sally Green's house. Super Bowl 5. That's the one with the Baltimore Colts. Cowboys are wearing a blue jersey. That's where the blue jersey jinx started. And Super Bowl 5, they were winning. Dallas was 13-7. The Cowboys in the second half had the ball on the 1-yard line, and Dwayne Thomas, R.I.P. Dwayne Thomas, he fumbled on the 1-yard line. So if the Cowboys score right there, we're probably already at 6 Super Bowls. Now I will admit, I was 7, so I had my G.I. Joe working in the background, my action figures. So did I watch the whole game? No, but the game was on. And of course they lost that one. And then the following year, Super Bowl 6, they played Miami. Their first Super Bowl win. Dwayne Thomas scored in that game. He came back and redeemed himself. And I went to high school, Dallas Carter High School, with Dwayne Thomas' daughter, Jamila. And I also went to high school with Randy Green, the son of NFL legend Cornell Green. So Cornell Green, if he was a Packer or a Steeler, he would be in the Hall of Fame. So I just wanted to open the show and share that with you guys. Now, to the controversy, I've come to the conclusion, gentlemen, just looking at this draft, I think we should just go all in on the secondary and not draft any edge players. And I want to talk about that during
Love it.
And that's controversy.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't take an edge.
So I guess I'm next, but there's been a lot of people talking about us trading up. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about because as me and Big Time talked about beforehand, it's just clickbait, really. That's not to say that it won't happen. I'm saying that the likelihood, the history behind us trading up in the first round, if history repeats itself, we're not going to do it. We're more likely to trade down than trade up, man. So And I just want to add, man, I was just thinking, man, I'll add this story too, man, similar to yours. Um, I can remember a game. I think we lost 14-7 after the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins may have been going to their perfect season or coming off their perfect season. But it's Thanksgiving Day game. That's the one. That's the one I can recollect. And I can just tell you that my father wasn't a Cowboy fan, but I spent a lot of time with my uncle, Wilford Milburn. Um, that name is kind of famous in Louisiana because his brother actually won 110 hurdles in Munich, Germany, in the Olympics. And so,
Wow.
so we used to go as kids, man, go help him. He had a janitorial service on Sundays. We used to go help him clean up. Me, because he had 4 sons, and I used to hang out with him. And so we used to go over there early in the morning, man, on Sundays, and then we go come back, and my aunt would be cooking, and so we eat and watch Dallas Cowboy football, and that's how I became a fan. So people always ask, like, your dad must have been a big fan. No, it was actually my uncle that turned me on to the Dallas Cowboys and the tradition of the Dallas Cowboys. So I just wanted to kind of just say that because Joe had his story, and I kind of came on a little bit later than you, Joe, but not much later.
Mhm.
It was about 73 or something like that.
Great story.
Well, I mean, I'm the baby then. If we start talking like that, so mine was 1977 against the Denver Broncos, Super Bowl 12,
Yep.
which the Cowboys won that particular game. I just wanted to be like my dad, so he was a Cowboy fan, and whatever he did, his reactions, I tried to. Y'all have heard the story before. I just copied off him, and that was it. I want to say this, since you guys are going back, I'm just gonna stick with now. My mindset is saying this, and forgive me, because I've always said this is the time for Jerry and Steven, right around this time here. Things are set up the way they're set up. And my question is, how is Jerry gonna mess this up? That's where I'm really worried. I'm not worried because part of me expect some controversy. Even if I don't believe in this trading up and all that stuff like everybody trying to get involved into, and I don't believe in it. But if he did, how could he mess this up? Like, how greedy are you? If you move down, how far are you willing to move down? I can understand you moving up, but I'm just trying to figure this thing. I don't think they're gonna do anything. I'm like B Bird. I said it all the time. This is just regular clickbait. Now, this is where we are. Cut the Cowboys news. Just trying to stir some stuff up, leading up to the draft. Teams are not as desperate as everybody say they are. This is just the fan base who wants to move into the top 6 to quote unquote guarantee. You're going to get your guy, but even if you move in the top 6, it don't mean you're going to get your guy. You just mean you're going to you're going to end up getting a guy, and that may not be the guy that you want. So, I don't think there's really a lot that's going on this week. A lot of just a bunch of yip, bunch of talk and all that type of stuff. But Joe, you come out swinging with this controversy. I don't know. My question to you is, I think that's a good place to start, to be honest with you, because I need to hear some explanation on this. If you saying go all secondary, who you talking about? At 12, if you're not moving, and you drafting at 12 and 20, who are you talking about? And to be honest with you, considering what they've done in the secondary, and I'm talking safety as well, somebody ain't gonna have a job. I mean, that's if we go second. I mean, it just depends on what you're saying, though. It just depends on what are you saying. Corner safety? Are you saying 2 corners? Are you saying 2 safeties? Actually, I don't know what. But even if you did that, somebody ain't gonna be on this team. You know, if you go there, I just need to hear where your head going on this one because you got me confused.
So I am doing safety the corner, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I just believe in this draft, it's only about 12 first round grades in this draft. I think so. There are 2 guys at edge. Well, it's actually 1. So there is 1 guy at edge in this draft, or defensive end, depending on how you look at it, and that's Bain. Okay, if you can tell me I can come out of this draft with Bain at 12, I'm all in. Okay, he is the only person at edge I would consider at 12. That's Bain. I think Messador, that's too high for him. I think it's too high for Falk. So to answer your question, the way Jerry can mess up this draft is to reach. And they have a history of doing that. And so I just think the best talent for me in this draft is at safety and corner. And we won't be really benching anyone because the guys in this draft that play corner, I just feel like they're a better player than Savon Revell. So the person that won't be starting is Revell. And of course, you can throw Bland in there too if he's injured, but hopefully he'll be healthy. So for me, I just think that I'm not taking Messador at 12. I'm not taking Falk at 12. There's really not anybody else from an edge standpoint that I would take at 12. So I'm hoping that we can get Downs at 12. If he's not going to be there, I don't think it's a stretch to take Delane at 12, McCoy at 12. You know, you got the injury concern. And then at 20, I'm just taking a safety. So safety, corner, safety. I think the best talent in this draft is in the secondary. So let's just upgrade our defensive back room because that's who Christian Parker, that's his specialty. That's what he's the specialist at is the defensive back room. So hopefully we come out of this draft with 2 good secondary players. Let's not do this, guys. Let's not force an edge on Christian Parker because Jerry is chasing his money trying to backfill a Micah spot. That player is not in this draft. And so that's just kind of my thought. Let's go secondary. We'll come back and look at the edge later. You know, Crosby's still out there, but don't force an edge just so you can just get a player and just check off a box.
So I'll tell you this, man. When you said that, I just shook my head. Yes, I am 100% on with you. Let me just tell y'all this. I might have a bias. Well, I got a bias against rookie pass rushers. Okay, I think it takes them a while to develop. The really special ones come in and make an impact. But the thing I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. We're gonna be doing this show for a long time. I'm telling y'all that. And for the next 2 or 3 years, all you're gonna hear me talk about is moves that make sense in Dak's window. When we get outside of Dak's window, that means that our 4-leaf clover and all that stuff is gone, man. We've been lucky of quarterbacks since Romo got here. We might fall into a purgatory. Quarterbacks. We might fall into a purgatory of quarterbacks. So I think the Joneses don't understand this. We got 2 or 3 years with Dak, and we don't know what we're going to get after that. We got excellent QB level quarterback play. I don't have time for a guy that's going to develop in 3 years. I need him to develop. I need this window. We need to be in this window. That means sometime in this window. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about try this year, next year, and the next year to win Super Bowls. And let me just give you a little something I found. So I went back and looked, and this might not be all correct, right? Because I might not have got this right. So I'm just kind of curious to see if my feeling is correct. And I look on and I say, okay, since 2015, how many rookies have gotten 10 sacks? And the number, I'm not going to ask y'all to guess that because the number is a little bit astounding to me. It might not be astounding to y'all, but that's 11 seasons. Only six times rookies have gotten 10 sacks. Look who they are. Joey Bosa, Max Crosby, Bradley Chubb, Josh Allen, Michael Parsons, and James Pierce. What I'm trying to say, man, it doesn't happen that easy, man. It doesn't happen that often. And so if I am, I'll keep using Cleveland because I know they're rebuilding. If I'm Cleveland Browns or somebody like that, yeah, it's time. I can draft. I can wait 3 years because we're not ready to win in 3 years. But if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I don't have time to wait on a guy to develop. Remember Iziraku, man, that guy got 16 and a half sacks his senior year. How'd that translate? And so, what I'm saying is, man, it takes those guys because these guys are real men playing left tackle and right tackle in the league, man. They are. I mean, even the ones that people think, oh, he's not that good. He's probably better than the guy that played in college against you. So I am 100% agree with you on this draft. One of the things I love, and I found this out just by listening, was that somebody said this before that safeties usually drop. And man, Caleb Jones is dropping. I would love to get him and a cornerback, if so, man, because we can't be going into the season with these guys that got question marks around their names, like Bland. We know with the foot. A foot is a terrible injury to have for a cornerback, to be honest with you. And we can't be closing our eyes like, oh, he's gonna be better. He's gonna come back. What if he don't? That throws us off, man. So I definitely believe I would stay away from defensive end at this point in time. If I wanted to get a pass rusher, I would get him via trade. Max Crosby, Garrett, or somebody like that, man. That's the way I would deal with that. But that's just my take on it.
Wow. Y'all done made me write notes down. I don't agree with y'all on this. I don't. And I'm not saying I'm right by no means, because you guys could be right. We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one. This usually don't happen. But I answered the question by 2 ways. I answered this question. Let me ask y'all this question. What do y'all feel about Messidor? What do y'all feel about him?
I'll go first. My son really likes him. I'm not as high on him. I just think that I agree
with you. If you was picking Messidor at 20, would you be happy?
Well, let me say this. If we get Messidor at 20, I'll be okay with it. But I just think there'll be better players on the board in the secondary. And I just want to expand on B-Bird's point that he made. That was one of my points I forgot. The edges, I think it's a possibility. We'll take Messidor big time. And we're going to be watching games this season. And we're not going to be able to say Messidor is even active for the game. He's literally just going to disappear in games. That's going to happen. It happened with all of the young edges, as B-Bird said. A few years back when we got CD Lamb, the player that they were going to take in that draft was Caleb Von Chasen. They were going to take Chasen because they went into the draft saying they needed an edge. So they were going to take him. I forgot Caleb Von Chasen was in the league.
Yeah.
He just showed up in New England. So I think big time, I think we're going to be watching games this year. Messidor is a good player, but we're going to be watching games where he just doesn't even show up on the stat sheet. The secondary players that we're talking about, you're going to be able to watch the game and see that they're impacting the game. And to B-Bird's point, we got a 2 or 3 year window. I think Messidor, 2 or 3 years, he's going to develop. He'll be fine. But for this team, I just think we need to take somebody that's going to have a bigger impact on the game.
All right, which leads, since you agree with him, B-Bird, I ask you this. So are you satisfied going into this season with going with an edge by committee approach?
No, I am, man. I came through with, and you got my mind is biased because I came through when we had a great defense in the 90s, a really, really good defense. But if y'all remember, man, I'm glad I'm talking to the OG podcast. Well, we got Haley, man. It turned everything up. I mean, because we couldn't get any pressure. We had a good, sound defense, but we could not get pressure. But that one man came in, man, and it just elevated our whole defense to a different level. A pass rusher can do that, man. And so I do not like this pass rush by committee. Let me tell you, they put those guys together last year with the mindset that Michael Parsons was going to be our linchpin, and then they're going to eat off of some things that he did.
So let me ask you this then. So you're still, without saying it, are you still kind of holding on to hope?
Oh yeah.
That maybe a Crosby deal or I ain't gonna say Gary because Gary really wasn't never on the list. Are you still kind of holding that torch? Because Haley was elite. You're saying you're talking about an elite pass rusher, not a. So, is that what you're holding on for?
That's what I'm holding on for because I think what you have to do is you don't have time to grow. What you have to do is you have to get people that have proven that they can do it in this league. And there's two guys out there. I still think Garrett is part of it. Let me tell you the reason why I say that. It's because if I want to drive up his value, if I'm Cleveland, I'm saying that he is off the board. Don't even talk to me about it. So now that drives the price up. I think before the draft or doing the draft, you may see something there. You just got to come with the right price and be able to give up some draft capital to get it. I think that this team, put it this way, I don't like Gary. I think he's just a pedestrian pass rusher. He's never gotten over 10 sacks. I've seen some content creators arguing for him. I would love the Gary pick if we had a Max Crosby or Garrett on the other side. I'd be like, okay, now it makes sense. Right now, it doesn't make sense. And so, like I said last year, man, those guys were all B-rated guys because we had Micah. But when Micah was gone, that committed thing just did not work at all, man. And what it did, it exposed our secondary from what it was. So yeah, I'm still holding out for the elite pass rusher, man.
So big time. Let me ask you this, and you watch a lot of Miami.
Okay, I was just about to give my take, but go ahead.
Oh, you want to go ahead?
Oh, not well. No. Maybe what I'm gonna say will probably will maybe redirect your question or maybe add to it. This is what I'm gonna say. I'm going strictly by the field. And you guys are too, but I'm trying to think slightly as Jerry Jones. I think something would have happened already if we were going elite B-Bird. I know the Raiders still might, I don't think they're gonna trade away Crosby now. I just don't think they are. And I know Garrett, I just don't think Garrett's on the block. But if he is, because of he gets to pick where he wants to go because I think who said that?
No trade?
Yeah, Kale said that Garrett has a no trade clause, so he gets to pick where he want to go. And Dallas probably would be, since that's his home, be the place where he probably would entertain a trade. I'll say that. But that's reaching for the sky. I don't think Jerry and them will want to pay that price. They're too cheap. I don't think they'll want to pay that price to get Garrett at least. They did try, of course, to get Crosby. But this is what I'm going to say. When you have, I'm just going on the field now. When you're going on the field, I believe that because of Williams and because of Clark and the attention that they deserve, in other words, the double teams that they deserve, you can't double team everybody. So you're probably going to be Q or Quentin Williams, who's going to get a double team. Clark may get a couple of them every now and then. Izaraku, if we draft edge, and I'm just saying if it's Bain. If it's Bain and Izaraku, they gonna get some opportunities to do some real damage because you're not doubling them. They're gonna go one-on-one. I just think that, and I guess this is where my little hope comes in. I think Izaraku is gonna step up this season. Let's not forget about Gary, who will get you 8 to 10 sacks a year. He will get that.
Now he's high at 7.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right at 8. He'll get right at 8. And if you were to get Bain and some more folks, I may add, you might want to dip back and try to get Clowney back in here. I think it's just going to be a committee, and because of what's on the line, I just think that that's just gonna open up things for everybody, including whoever the linebackers are. I just think that's gonna happen. Quentin Williams can get you double-digit sacks himself, right there from the defensive tackle position. I just think that because of Williams and Clark, and God forbid if we get one more dog from there. I think Coach Breelove said something. He said he want Lawrence from the Giants. That ain't gonna happen because the Giants not gonna help the Cowboys. Let's get that straight.
Thibodeau.
They're not gonna trade.
I take Thibodeau. Yeah.
I mean, but I would take them without a doubt if that's
Big time. I did have something to say about what you said. Now here's the deal.
Go ahead.
We had
Clark and Cute stuff too. I mean, I like this. Go ahead.
We had Clark and Cute last year. It's not like we getting them this offseason. We had them already, and so those guys, we just that committee thing to me just didn't work. We wasn't getting no pressure on the outside to me.
Well, part of that was they had the right people in. James Houston caused havoc, and we just didn't put him in enough. As far as I'm concerned, James Houston was getting in there. And I forgot about, I'm not saying he's a difference maker, but he shows up every night, and that's Sam Williams who's coming there. So I'm saying they've already have showed us. I'm saying just based off the signings that they've made, that it will be a committed type approach. They tried to go and hit the home run with Crosby, but of course they didn't. That didn't fall through. So I can see, and I think Kels want me to throw up something. Here go Kels trying to take over.
Yeah. Love Kels.
Here she go. So I'm scrolling up, and I didn't see this at first. Let's see what she said. All right. So she says that with our top 3 picks, the positions would be edge, cornerback, and linebacker in the draft. That
order?
Now she said in no particular order, and that's going to be depending on who's there. Yeah, so I think they're going to address, and it's a couple names that most people don't talk about. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma is great. I like him. We got the kid from Iowa who will be later in the draft, Max Llewellyn, who I love. I love him. It's some guys that are there, and everybody's concentrating on Mesidor and Bain, but I just think that they already kind of made up their mind, man. I just think they've already made up their mind. I think they're going to try to make the splash in the linebacker room. I mean, really don't have no choice with that. And I could also see y'all with the secondary. I could see that. But I really do believe they're going to go edge strictly with draft and make this thing a committee and say, hey, with these and you're right, B-Bird, your argument could be made about that Williams and Clark were there, at the end part of last year together, and you still didn't see, those guys had one-on-ones and they didn't make it happen. I agree with that. Well, that's where the personnel part come in. There's a need for the elite pass rusher or give me another Rashad Gary, and I say go let's play football. If you telling me I can get another guy that's gonna give me at least 8 sacks, I'll take it. I would take it in a heartbeat. And right now, our leading guy is Gary. So obviously we need that, and I think they're gonna be leaning on. You know how the Cowboys are, man. They're gonna try to make $1 out of 15 cents. So they're gonna try to pump up Izaraku. You can see this coming. Yeah. They're gonna try to pump him up, act like he the next Michael Parsons, like they did when he was a rookie. So they're gonna try to pump him up, but they know they need some help as far as edge goes. So if Bain falls, Joe,
you taking it.
I'm shouting because I believe in Bain without a doubt. I don't care if you're a rookie or not. If you give Bain one-on-one, I'm serious. Hey, he gonna be a problem, Doc. That's the way I look at it.
But my dream scenario for this draft is at 12, Bain, or down falls to you, I can also make an argument that I might trade up for Bain or Downs. I like them that much. But going back to where we started with Jerry, and throw Steven in there too. Here's my concern too about taking Messador at 20. And you mentioned it. We got Izaraku. We got James Houston. Is it James Houston? What's his first name?
James Houston.
So we got Izaraku, we got Houston, we got Sam Williams, and I'm leaving Gary. So my thing with Messador, if you draft Messador, he's already competing with the four guys I just mentioned. Now, if you draft Messador, Jerry and Steven, they've been known to do this. They may just put the pressure on Christian Parker to play Messador over, a Gary, Izaraku. I just don't want to take an edge at 20 when I just feel like it's better players on the board. But Bain changes everything. If we draft Bain, then obviously you're not drafting Messador at 20. You can go corner there. So, but Messador, like I said, my son really likes him. You do as well, big time. If we end up with Messador at 20, I think he'll be okay. I just think that the resources to me could be spent in another area that's going to have a more upfront impact than drafting Messador at 20. And he's competing with these other guys as a rookie to come in and make an impact.
Wow.
So I just looked at defensive ends drafted in the first round since 2015. The same time, those six guys have been 30 defensive ends drafted, and I don't have what I'm trying to say is I don't have an issue with the players. I just have an issue with the window and the natural development of a defensive end. They just don't come in usually make a big impact. I think also too. Let me just be honest with you, man. I promised myself that whenever I started listening to content creators, that I wouldn't put myself, and this is just my opinion. When people ask my opinion, what they should do, I never factor in what the Joneses will do because I don't want to limit myself to that. Because if I limit myself to that, now I'm falling up under the same spell, right? Mm-hmm. They're conditioning me and my football mind to go in the way they will go. I say what they should do. I think that you have an offense right now that's Super Bowl ready. I think that you have a defense that's not even ready to compete in the regular season. How do you change that? Well, again, like we said last week, man, I'm gonna tell you, when I'm out this world and gone up to heaven, players are still gonna be the biggest thing to get here. We could talk about coaches all we want to, and we could talk about offenses all we want to, but we have not had a top, say, 7 defense. It's probably since the 90s, man, and that's been our Achilles heel. They want to go cheap on what they like to do is. So another thing was we'll get into this later, but I did a little write up on notes that said that they have not traded up in the first round since Morris Claiborne in 2012. The reason why they don't do that, y'all, is because let's go back to what they really value. They value more picks. They don't value less pick and quality, right? So they don't want to move up and lose picks, and so they just want to move back and get quality picks. Well, in my mind, when you have a weak draft, I think this is more a weaker draft, especially compared to next year. I think you got to move up, to be honest with you, because the quality is higher up. Like Joe said, you got about 12 first rounders in this draft. So you want to get as many people in that 12 as you can if you really want to make a push. So I just don't think that a rookie defensive end, and I hope I'm wrong that they draft one, but I'm looking for Caleb Downs out this first round, man. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm targeting. That's what I'm hoping for. I just don't think that's why when Joe said that earlier, it wasn't basically like who's going to be there. No, I want a guy. Again, this is the time where you go make an acquisition of a player that's already proven. You don't sit around and be like, well, I hope, and boy, this guy that's too much. You have a window of 2 or 3 years. We ain't got no time for best case scenarios and all that kind of stuff, man.
Wow.
I wanted to get your input on Messador because I know you like him. So what is your evaluation of Messador? If we draft Messador, is he going to be really ahead of Sam Williams, Izaraku, Rashawn Gary? Is he going to Is he that type of player? He's gonna get snaps over them.
Yes.
His rookie year.
Yes. He is right outside. He's one of the top 20 players. If you mostly everybody has him top 20. There's plenty. There's some that have him right at 14, 13 in their area. Me, I got him right at 14, 15 myself. As far as everybody, every position. If you look at the Miami film, which a lot of people did, he was dominant on the other side of Bain. I mean, it was a problem. The only problem with Mesidor is a lot of people talk about his age because he comes in a little older. I think he's 25 or 26 years old, and he's had foot issues. And of course, that kind of will kind of slow you up as well. So I based off the film of just this year of Miami, it's hard to go against what this kid can do. Well, I'm sorry, this man. He comes in like that. I mean, I would have absolutely no issue. So he's a little older. Yeah, he's a rookie, but it was a lot of games. Mesidor made a lot of people look like, a man against boys. And we all know Bain did the same thing. And if you look no further than the Indiana game, the national championship game. Of course, Miami lost, but look at Mesidor and Bain go to work. I mean, I know it's Indiana, I know it's Big Ten. Them boys were going to work on them guys. So I like them. I think if you get them, which I don't think that's gonna happen, but if he were to fall at 20, you running to get that card up because that's so much value for getting a kid like that low in the draft. He's not gonna be, I wish I could look at everybody's board, in the league. I doubt very seriously Mesidor, he's got to be in the top at least 15. Regardless of position, he's got to be. It's just everybody keep talking about Bailey, Bain, those guys before you start talking about. I believe right after that, I'll call him Mesidor's name, to be honest with you. I think Mason Thomas probably may follow him maybe. But Mesidor the truth. I'll take him quick. I can see impact. No, not all pro. Probably not even Pro Bowl. But I think he can give you what Clowney gave you last year. And that may not be good enough for some, but I'm just saying I think he can give you that without question. And based off of, like I say, the way the Cowboys have moved, it's obvious to me that they are leaning toward maybe the committee approach. Will that get us by? We just have to see who done stepped up. If Sam Williams plays like he did last year, then B-Bird will be absolutely right. If he's a rock who, how many sacks he had last year? 3?
I think he had 1.
Look, if he come in this season, all he got is 3 sacks this year, then B-Bird is absolutely right on that. We don't have time for it. But I agree with you. But keep in mind, y'all, I guess I'm just playing the other side of the track. Yeah, we need to be a better defense. But if we were just ranked 20th last year, we'd been in the playoffs and would have caused some damage. I think Dennis Traylor said he had 2 sacks. If he's a rock who come to this season and all he got is 4 sacks at the end of the year, then I'm gonna say he's a rock who's not it. You know what I'm saying? But they are going to depend on Izaraku to make a huge jump. And I can see that happening. So that mindset is probably the wrong mindset. But I unless Christian Parker have really got into their heads, I can see this happening like this.
So with Messador, one thing I looked at his age. I don't care about that because again, let me go back to what I'm basing everything off of Dak's window. Also, too, if Messador comes in and he comes in and he gives us 2 or 3 good years or 4 good years, and then he goes somewhere else, it's a great draft pick. It's a great draft. I'm not of the second. You got to sign a guy for a second time. If we get a running back in here, say we get the running back from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love in here, and if we get him in and he runs like Zeke did, and then 4 years, 5 years, and he goes to another team, so what? So with Messador, if he comes in, we might be in a particular place to where we value him more than, say, a team that's building. Because I think Messador is 24, maybe 25, right?
Yes.
But a young team might be like, that's too, man. By the time we start winning, we're going to be 28. Yeah. Not for us, though. No. So we can actually, we got more value in him than some other teams may have in him, put it that way.
Yeah. You're not going to charge him because of his age.
Correct. Yes. We got a 2 or 3 year window. Yeah.
So. In actuality, you would almost look at him and say that he's almost considered somewhat of a veteran and based off his play because he was whooping folks on the field.
Yeah. It might actually, like you said, I thought about it as you were talking. I said, man, really a dude that he might actually bring a level of maturity that a younger guy may not bring as far as work ethic and all that kind of stuff. So you never know. We might value him more than other teams may value him. So,
I think you hit. I think you said something there, Big Bird. Do you really look at him as a rookie? I think that's the question. He really can go. I'm higher than you are on him, Joe. I'm higher on Messador. I am excited. If you may have some guys there at 12 who. It's going to be some talent there, but I'm not mad at all if they turn their card in and you say we want Messador. I'm not mad at all. I'm actually happy. That's the way I feel about it.
And some people actually like Messador more than they like Bain.
Exactly. And there are many that have said that he's more dangerous than Bain is. It just depends on what you like. That's all I'm gonna say. Both of them were a humongous problem in Miami last year. Both of them. And there were some times where the double team did go to Messador, and Bain got to eat one-on-one on the other side, and it was vice versa. So again, I mean, it just depends on your flavor. I like the kid. And for those in the chat that haven't seen Messador play or Bain, you go look at it. Bailey, the one that everybody says gonna go first. I'm just being honest with you, Joe. I like Messador more than I like Bailey because Bailey can't do nothing but pass rush. He cannot. He can't stop the run. He's too light.
Can't set the edge.
So he can't set an edge. He can't do anything. Messador is he can do it all. Set the edge, pass rush. Bain is the same way. Why? To be honest with you, I understand the speed of Bain, and his speed will give a lot of people problems. No question about that. And if you're talking about pure pass, and he has a toolbox too. Talking about Bailey. Bailey has a toolbox in his pass rush game. But if you run at him, guess what? He would probably end up getting the same reputation as Micah Parsons. How do you stop Micah Parsons? You run at him.
Run at him.
That's what you're gonna do because he don't wear a lot. So I'm saying but it is a place for it because we're not gonna knock Micah Parsons. At least I'm not. Correct. Micah Parsons gonna give you at least 10 to 12 sacks every year.
Yeah,
he's a problem. You know what I'm saying, Bailey? But I like for. Coach Breedlove said something early in the chat. Until we see it, we got to stop the run in order to go ahead and get this pass rush everybody talking about. We haven't been good at stopping the run at all. And it's more than just up the middle. We weren't doing anything on the edge.
Correct.
So give me some guys that's going. We did take care of that with Rashad Gary. Gary is a tremendous acquisition for us because he can do both. Go make sure I got that on the other side. And give me somebody on the other side that's good against the run and can pass rush as well. Give me that, and I say let's go play football. I like Mesidor better than I like Bailey. I like Bain more than I like Bailey. And Bailey's gonna be the first one taken.
Yeah.
Bailey going top 4. You know what I'm saying? He going top 4, but I personally like Mesidor and Bain more than I like Bailey.
So on Tankathon, as it stands today, they have Mesidor as a 21st ranked player, and they got Dallas taking Mesidor at 20. So
I don't think he's gonna last that long.
You don't think he gonna make it to 20?
Not Mesidor. I don't see it. I don't think he is. I mean, this boy is a problem. I mean, he's a problem. I'm just, I don't see him. I don't see him going that far down. And I would even say that if he is dangling there, I could see a team trading up to try to go get him.
So we talked about some nightmare scenarios for this draft. That's one. If you get down to 20 and Mesidor is off the board there, but it's other good players you can take. But I think right now, if I had to put money on it, that's who the Cowboys looking to take at 20.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And
let me give you a nightmare scenario, and we ain't never talked about this. You just made me think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey, Bain, Mesidor are all going in the first round. All the rest of the pass rushers, the real good ones, with the exception maybe of Max Llewellyn from Iowa, maybe, and all that, most of those guys are going in the second, third. That's the nightmare scenario. If you don't get a pass rush in the first round, we don't have a second round pick. And 92, you just getting a committed guy, right, B-Bird?
Yeah, that's correct.
In 92, you getting a committed pass rusher.
And you forgot Falk is in there too. They got him listed.
I forgot Falk. And at 20, unless that's what you're going with. That is the nightmare scenario. That if you don't get edge in the first round, unless you're gonna get lucky and get them at 92, that's the one, because everybody else will be kind of like a edge guy. And Falk is gonna leave before 92. It ain't no question about that. So
now the edges that they have kind of going toward the bottom of the first round, they've got TJ Parker from Clemson, Cassius Howell from A&M, and then now R. Mason Thomas, they got him as a second round.
Exactly. Howell is good too. He's just a little light, but he's got a plenty of tools in there. But again, Howell is gonna make it into the second round, maybe.
Yeah,
we don't have a second round as of now. As of now, we don't. So what I'm saying is, to me, that's the nightmare scenario. If you miss one of these guys in the first round with those two picks, now you're waiting all the way to pick as of now, waiting to pick 92, and by the time 92 get here, them names that you just called, Joe, they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now you really are going by committee as far as edge goes. Of course, we got free agency, but
Yeah, and so I think too with that would be more of if that does happen, a nightmare scenario. Now it's time to start looking around to see if you can trade for someone. Now, I'm not necessarily saying Max Crosby, but I'm saying somebody else that you say, okay, because we can't wait till the third round. But one thing that does bring up too, and I hope this kind of happens, because I didn't get to speak on this guy last week. We talked Sadiq. I'm sorry to take the courses a little bit.
Tight end.
So one of the things I'll tell y'all that I'm not a draft guru, so I kind of know like some of the guys like in the first round. I don't go too deep into it. But one of the things I think, even not being a draft guru, because with Michael Parsons, I mean, I've told y'all the story. When I first heard of him, Skywalker Steele, he lives up there. I think they come from the same hometown. And so he was telling me about him. And I said, okay, tell me a little bit about this guy. He said, well, he's 6'3", 250-some pounds. He's a playmaker, man. He led the team and this, that, and other, but he sat out this last year. I said, okay, what has he got? Oh, he runs a 4.340. I say, what? He said he runs a 4.340. And I was like, and he make plays? because some guys are just workout guys, right? Like they can do all that stuff, but they can't really play. And I was like, you got to draft that dude. And so, but what ends up happening is we have analysis, paralysis by analysis, or like that, where people that really into the draft, they overthink things. And so, since I'm not that tapped into it, I just look at it and be like, that guy can play. Why are we not drafting him? So back to Sadiq, what I look for is just something that's extraordinary that we've never seen before, like the 4.340 for Michael Parsons. But with Sadiq, man, this dude here, man, he's a freak. That's what I'm trying to say. And whenever you get these athletic freaks, man, that actually make plays on the field, man, you got to go get them, man. Just like if you think about this, we all old enough to remember Moss. That was one of my worst drafts, man. I was begging to draft Moss. And I know some reasons why we didn't do it. But when you 6'6" and run like a 4.340 like that, man, you just don't find that too often, man. So you got to go get that guy. He's different. He's not like anybody else. And so even Tyreek Hill, that guy ran like a 4.2 something low, but he can play football. What I'm trying to say is, man, when you get these qualities that's outside the norm qualities, go get those guys. If you get to this pick, man, and you're at 20 and you ain't got no pass rush, man, forget that. Go get Sadiq. I mean, you want to, he with those targets Ferg got, you get a lot more than 600 something yards. I can tell you that much.
But are you going to do that at the sacrifice of not getting a defensive player? Maybe because Sadiq, you had to get him at 12.
Yeah.
He's not going to last at 20.
Yeah.
He could be gone before 20. So are you willing to bypass defense at 12 and get Sadiq, which obviously would make your offense super strong, stronger than it has been in a while. Yeah. And then, of course, you probably would draft at 20. Are you willing to sacrifice that?
Now, remember I told you earlier, I don't even like defensive ends anyway. Like, I don't like rookie defensive ends. So definitely he would go before defensive ends to me, to be honest with you. Because he's going to instantly come in and make your team better next year. It's not a growth factor in a guy like that. Now, he got to learn some nuances of the game or whatever, but boy, if that guy started hitting, man, you got those two guys outside and three all together, because Flournoy's proven himself. That'd be crazy, man. Those four guys out there.
You're strengthening your strength, which I don't have a problem with at all, because I know how dangerous it would be. I wanted to put this up because Kels wants y'all to answer this right quick. Y'all read that, Joe. She think this gonna make you happy, Joe. So you tell Kels if you happy about this or not. I'll just let you add a dance floor on it. Go ahead.
So what is she saying?
There it is, Ray. She's saying that two scenarios that may make you happy. It's inexpensive to move from 12 to 6. So that's that trade up scenario you were talking about. And then number 2, getting in bed with Minnesota to trade out 12 to 18. And in addition to that, you'll pick up second and third round picks. So in other words, you still would be in the first round. But of course, then you probably, the Cowboys probably pick up a second round and another third round pick, which obviously means you have pick 18, pick 20, second round pick, and additional third round pick. So you'll have 5 picks in the top 100. So I guess what you're saying is, which one would you rather want?
Honestly, I think they're both very appealing. I probably would go take the trade up option to get Downs or Bain. But that second option, it's great because you picking up a second rounder. You dropping down 6 spots, and the reason that second one might actually be better, the more I think about it, I think it's a possibility that Bain and Downs, they're not going to be there at 12. So trading down to 18, I would love it if you're picking up a second round pick, because what I'm doing, I'm trading down to 18. I'm going to get a corner. I'm going to get a linebacker. I'm going to try to figure out some kind of way I can draft Anthony Hill.
Now, he's projected to go possible second or he's got a third round grade by most people.
I think he's moving up.
But he's moving up. So let me just say this. The real strength of the draft, and I'm not going by position, but it's some real good football players that's going to be gone between that second and third round. It's a lot of good guys right in that area there. So I just want to throw that out.
That's why her second scenario might be the better route, because that's going to put you right where you need to be. I mean, you could come out of this draft with...
Well, not to cut you off, Joe, but I think B-Bird said it best. Or it was one of you two. How many first round grades do we really have? What, 12? Yeah, maybe 13?
Joe said it. Yeah, Joe said that.
It's basically 10 or 12.
So that means everybody else is a second round grade, third round, and on down. So there's the strength of the draft. So in other words, you got 32 teams that are picking. Right after we get through with pick 12, 13, 14, or whatever, really you're going to have a whole bunch of second round guys getting picked in the first round. So there you go.
So on that, like, and Kels, thanks for bringing this up. A real GM does the first one. A guy that just wants to fill a roster with low paid players does the second one. In a weak draft, you need to move up, because that's what the quality is. If you're trying to, remember, I'm always talking. I want to keep saying this. My mindset is always on this Dak window. So yeah, we could trade back, but that's kind of what they're. That's why I sent that. That's why I had that deal about them trading up in the first round. It's been since 2012 since they've done that, man. And so that's a long time, y'all. That's 14 years. The reason why is because they rather trade back and accumulate more draft picks, cheaper labor, and that's what they operate on. So the second one is definitely in Jerry and Steven's wheelhouse, because low paid players, baby. We got control of them for 4 or 5 years. That's what we're about. The other one is, hey, we got to win and we need an impact player. We need to move up, because there ain't that many impact players in this draft. So let's get to the top and get the guy we want, and then we'll talk about the other stuff later on.
I'll add and say that I totally agree, Joe and B-Bird, that if you're going, you see, this is the part where we talked about on the last show. Remember when I said, somebody just got to tell me the truth. Are you trying to win the Super Bowl, or are you building towards something? Yeah. If you're building towards something, you take the second one.
Correct.
But if you want to win now, you move up to 6. And if you're telling me that you really are trying to win the Super Bowl, then you move up and go get your guy who you feel will be a impact player from day one. That whoever you picking at 6 is starting for you. You ain't got no depth chart. You started and you're expecting him, even as a rookie, to come in and go to work immediately. Caleb Downs will be starting. Bain will be starting. Sonny Styles, if that's the way they want to go, would be starting. Immediately. I mean, you don't have time to wait. If you're building towards something, then that second option is wonderful. I mean, that's a good foundation for the future. And you're gonna get some real good football players. You have 5 picks in the top 5. That's how you go ahead and build for the future. Say, hey, in 2 years, we're gonna be ready to go. So that's the answer. I believe I agree with. But this year, since everybody telling us we got a window, since everybody telling us Dak only got 2-3 more really good years at this level, you don't have time to waste.
No.
You got Pickens, you got Lamb, the offense is straight, you got all that. You got to get this defense going, so you got to go get me some impact players.
Correct.
So that I agree with Joe on that. You move up. That's what I'm saying. If you're talking about winning now, you move up.
And you should be. And you should be talking about winning now.
You should be talking about winning now. Just based off this offense, you should be trying to win right now. If you got an offense that's scoring dang near 29 points a game, come on now. It's
Man,
not.
let me just tell you, I think the fan base and the front office also is a little bit spoiled on our quarterback position. Like we've had Pro Bowl quarterbacking since 2007. That's 18 years, man. And so what I'm saying is we haven't had quarterback purgatory, but the way we draft, I could see us having quarterback purgatory. Think about some of the guys that Jerry was rumored to get as quarterbacks, and they're gonna be trash. They never did pan out. We've been blessed, man, with this organization. That's why it's amazing that we haven't been to the NFC Championship game with that type of quarterbacking. So when you start talking about that second option, you're really talking about the future. But man, the future is gonna, let's win these Super Bowls while we can, man. While we got the quarterback here, and let's just put everything in. We've never went all in on Dak, man, and that's just what it is. Saying, hey, we've got the quarterback, we've got the wide receiver. Hey, let's go all in and just see what happens. They've been cautious and they've been taking their time and they think about the future way too much than the present. I also thought about this the other day, man. It's going to change the subject just a little bit. But I said that the Cowboys, I was walking, I thought about this. I said the Cowboys GM has the power of an owner. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And no GM should have that type of power. And that's what the problem is. So when he goes in and negotiate and he's thinking about building his roster, he has the power of a GM. And so that's part of our issue too, man. So, but also that power says that I can look 10 years into the future. I can look 5 years into the future. And I want them to be short-sighted. I want them to look 2 to 3 years into the future and say, what helps us next year, this year, next year, and the next. I'm talking about all three of those.
You going too fast because you done hit on something, whether you know it or not. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because Jerry and Steven look at things as the long-term plan.
Correct. Yeah.
But a real GM who don't have the power,
don't have the time,
is living year by year.
That's right.
That's maybe, in other words, I got to get this thing right now because I can get fired along with the coach.
Correct.
All will fire a coach and a GM.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Jerry having all them hats, he ain't about to fire himself. So that what you just said is powerful, man.
Yes, and see the thing is too, man. I just want to take that's why they asked him about urgency. They can never have the urgency of a regular GM because the regular GM's urgency. Y'all heard me talk about this before. Is that the GM has to keep his job and keep his lifestyle. So he is urgent, man. He's out there trying to make. Why you think Philadelphia runs circles around us? Howie Roseman will get fired if he have 3 bad years. Hey man, I ain't got time. And so he gonna go out and get the players, whatever, man. We'll figure this up. We'll figure this contract stuff out later. We'll figure this stuff out down the road, man. I got to go get players. When you, let me tell you something, man. A hungry line gonna beat a full line to the food all the time, man. And we're going against hungry GMs. These dudes be talking about sense of urgency. Well, we have a sense of urgency every year. No, you don't, dude. Sense of urgency, man. When I go to my job, if my boss say, "Hey, man, you falling off on your job, you need to pick it up," man, my house depends on my job. I got to pick it up. I have no. Man, I can't get fired. I have to go, man, my whole life changes if I get fired.
Man, I'm going to mute the mic. I'm going to let B-Bird have B-Bird, you're on fire right now.
Yeah, man, that's just, but that's kind of what it is, man. That's been, and I actually started my channel, man, just to let people understand what the difference between us and other organizations are. Because I want people to understand the fact that we are competing against people that are hungry, man. They got to fight every day to keep their jobs, and the GMs have to go make acquisitions to keep their jobs. And they're going against a person in Dallas that's trying to get World Cups, motocross, WWEs, trying to sell out the stadium. You're doing it part time, dog. You don't have time for this. These dudes out here, they fighting every day, man. That's what we going against, man. And that's
Jerry, just to bag up B-Bird. I hate to cut B-Bird.
What's going on, brother?
He got one of these drop the mic moments right now. Let me tell you something. In chat, come on, y'all. Come on. Let me have your ear. How many times have we heard Jerry say one of the first things that he says about a rookie is that he can get, depending on where they draft him, that he can get 4 to 5 years out of that one player before contract time comes. So when you drafting the guy, I guess some GMs got to think slightly that way. But Jerry's thinking that way off cheap labor. Like, I'm trying to get these rookie guys, the LVEs, the Dez Bryants, the Zach Martins who came in all pro, in the first couple of years, and you still ain't had to pay them. You see what I'm saying? The Ezekiel Elliott's who came in like all pro after the rookie year and all that stuff. And they're saying, man, I got this one next year. I ain't got to worry about the contract talk. What B-Bird is saying is, look, these other GMs, they can't afford to look 2-3 years down the road.
Can't afford to do it, man.
They got to try to win. I mean, like win. And I think that's very powerful. And I think that is what the problem, one of the main roots of the problem is that Jerry has both hats, and he knows can't nobody fire him.
Correct.
And that may be one of the issues of the urgency of the draft, to be honest with you, or B-Bird, the urgency of acquiring those type of players in free agency.
Correct.
I think, and that's probably more than the draft. One thing about Howie going to get some dogs.
Yeah.
And it ain't coming from some of them coming from the draft. But please understand, he dipping in the free agency pool. It ain't no question about that.
Correct.
So you hit on something real strong. Now, I'm sorry, Joe. I know you got something to add.
Yeah, go on, Joe.
No, you guys are on the right track. I think the problem with our franchise the last 30 years is they haven't done a good job at either or. They haven't done a good job with free agency. They don't want to spend the money. And there's this perception that they're great at drafting. They're average at drafting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of our drafts, they just, you look at that 23 draft. That 23 draft really put us back 3 or 4 years. That 23 draft, fellas, that draft was so bad. Yeah, that draft is so bad. It's putting everybody behind the 8 ball. It's putting Shoddy, Christian Parker. Christian Parker is a new coach, but he's under a lot of pressure because of the 23 draft, the Schoonmakers, the Kelvin Josephs, all of these recent drafts that they've had. So Christian Parker, is he going to get 3 or 4 years to really put his plan in place? Is Christian Parker under the pressure to win now? And when you look at what we've done in free agency and the draft, I think he's got a little pressure coming in his first year. That's why it's so important for them to knock this draft out of the park. They cannot afford in this draft. They cannot afford to miss. I'm sorry. There's a lot of Will McClay people out there. They're going to be on my timeline. They just, you mentioned Will McClay. Man,
you got one in here, Kale. Kale for to light you up right now.
Oh my God! But I like Kales though. I like Kales.
Yeah, she
man,
like you. But
look, in fairness to Will, he doesn't get to do what other GMs do. You mentioned it, B-Bird. He doesn't get to really do what Howie Roseman does. But you got to do one or the other. You got to hit it out of the park. And we haven't done it.
In fairness to Will, though, he kind of, wouldn't he be considered handicapped?
I think so.
Yeah, he is.
I'm saying, definitely. I mean, Will, I'm quite sure over the years that the Cowboys drafted a guy and Will stood on the desk and fought for another guy. And because it's Jerry and Steven who don't know, or maybe even the coach at the time, who probably said, no, Will, we ain't gonna go with this. We're gonna go with this guy.
So you're absolutely right.
Will may be just slightly handicapped. I don't want to use the word outranked, but
that'd be the word though.
That'd be the word because everybody has a different perspective. The coaches, whatever else. Jerry has said. Now the only thing we get to see the war room, but we just don't get to get the microphone access. Jerry said that when draft time comes, we get a variety of everybody's opinion. And I don't know who that final opinion really is. I would think that we'll have a lot to do with that. And because you're getting all your information from your scouts. But I still think he's handicapped with some of the choices that are made.
He's handicapped in free agency. There's no question about that.
I don't think he have absolute. They handicapped themselves with that. It's just because it's about a money thing there with free agents.
Yeah, but on the draft, we've had some drafts where there wasn't a handicap, and we just haven't picked good players. Now, again, in fairness to him, he really has been under the pressure of getting every pick right. Look, I talk about this on our show every Friday, every Saturday, whenever we meet. I talk about the Ravens, the 49ers, the Eagles. They have had bad drafts too, in fairness. Howie Roseman has had some bad drafts, B-Bird.
Yeah.
But because of what he does in free agency,
correct,
it balances out.
Correct.
But the Dallas Cowboys, I don't care what your title is. If you have anything to do with the draft, we're going to have a draft here in the next couple of weeks. I'm telling you right now, they have very little room for error. Very little.
So with Will McClay, man, the thing is, I'm not gonna get on him too hard because he's limited on what he can do, but he's actually getting paid handsomely for his input. So the Joneses don't know what these players, like these 30th ranked players or 56th ranked players, they don't know none of that stuff. So that's part of, so he's their go-between. He's their knowledge, their eyes, their ears, and all that. I have an issue with, because people think it's a positive that Jerry takes a consensus of all the room and see who they want to take. Dude, you ain't nothing but a scorekeeper at that point in time. If you can't come in as a general manager and say, I hear what y'all saying, and it's only 2 guys that want this guy, 5 guys want, I'm siding with the 2 guys because I've seen this guy play. That's what he brings his own set of expertise into it too, not just with relying on other people or whatever. So with Jerry and them, I don't really like that, because I think he gets credit for being a tiebreaker or something like that. Now, Kel said something here I did want to respond to. Kel, you said how is entering his cap hell era. So he may be doing that, but I love the way he does his contracts, because what he does, he signs these high paid players and he pushes the money way off. And what that does is keep their cap hit low so he can acquire other people. That's all in. That means I'm trying to win these next 2 or 3 years. Now, they won year before last, and they didn't win last year, and we don't know what's going to happen this year. But so, Kales, I'll just tell you this. If they are entering cap hell, it's been success, because they did win a championship out of it. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that, like, the Cowboys, they always looking far down the road, and they're never – let me give y'all a little story, man. I don't know if I told y'all this before. But at our family reunion a long time ago, we used to have a family reunion, and then, like, in the middle of family reunion, we used to have a meeting about the next family reunion. Well, that meeting started going on for a long time, and we kept on saying, "Man, what they doing in there? They're having a meeting." I said, "But it's a family reunion." So what it was is they were trying to have a successful family reunion the next 2 years, but they was killing the one that we were having now, right? Trying to plan for the other one. So the Joneses do that. They're planning for 3-4 years down the line, but what are you doing for this one? This one has not been successful yet. That family reunion had not been successful, but this year is not successful. Name me one time that the Cowboys over the last 15 years say, okay, y'all, we're going all in on this year. This is the year, this year, next year. After that, we're going to blow it up, because our cap is going to be gone. We got to cut people. They've never done that. What they do is try to maintain the status quo. And that's not going to get us over the hump. Hey, man, you got to go. And man, y'all know this too. Anybody ever gamble in the chat, or my 2 brothers here? Scared money don't make money. Hey, man, you go to the casino scared, you're going to lose everything you got. Man, you got to be bold, man, and go for stuff. Remember, we talked about Charles Haley earlier. That was bold, man. Deion Sanders, bold. Man, you are rewarded with bold moves. Guess what? It might strike out, but guess what? Like I told my daughter a long time ago, I don't mind you striking out swinging. I mind you striking out with watching the ball.
Let me chat, and I want to throw this up because Kale, she spilled it out this time. Y'all read that. We ain't got to comment on it. We'll just let it go.
Oh, Kale high side us. Somebody gonna let us know they had dinner. You ain't throw all that in there, Kale.
So he's the de facto GM for what she said. So of course he has a little bit more control and responsibility for what she says he has. So
He ain't Howie.
you'll never know it. One thing about it, Will would be shielded because all the blame is gonna go to Steven and Jerry.
Correct.
Even if he has that.
He got the best job in the NFL.
I do believe Jerry in his explanations of Will over the last couple of years, where he says that, Will, Jerry leans on a lot of intel before he makes, gives the final pick on that. So, and Jerry ain't watching no film. Jerry ain't, watching no tape. So obviously he's leaning on Will and his scouts. There, Steven ain't watching nothing. I believe Jerry's leaning on the coaches and all of that type of stuff. Thanks, Kel, for sharing that.
And I did want to say this to piggyback on all of y'all points. Where Jerry has made a mistake over the years, he's done it multiple times. He's listened to the coaches. So you have Dan Quinn picking players. You have McCarthy. Schoonmaker was a McCarthy pick. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh,
McCarthy,
yeah, I definitely agree with that.
McCarthy wanted, let me say this. I don't think McCarthy specifically selected Schoon. He just wanted a tight end, and that's all that was left.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn has drafted players. Dan Quinn gets a job in Washington. We're stuck with the players. So what you want to do, in my opinion, if you are a well-ran organization like the Seattles, like the 49ers, the GM, whether he's the GM or the de facto GM, that's who picks the players. The coaches, you have some input. And so that's the problem with the Cowboys is Jerry has listened to these coaches. We ended up with Taco, not because of the scouts, but because of Rob Marinelli. And then they let Marinelli come back and take Tristan Hill. Rob Marinelli was the GM for a couple of our drafts. That's just a fact. When they never should have listened to Rob Marinelli. Why are you listening to Rob Marinelli anyway? So if they had listened to the scouts, we would have had TJ Watt. So this is not an organization that's ran well. So what they need to do going forward, starting with April 28th, let Will and his scouts arrange the board, and then they pick the players. I love Christian Parker. I love to hire. If you let Christian Parker run this draft, you're asking for trouble.
Correct.
Let me deal in based on what you guys have said. Let me deal in an area these last few months that I haven't dealt in, and that's in the hope category. If you allow me to, I'm gonna go back to being because I haven't been wrong yet this off season at all. But let me jump into some of y'all lanes. A lot of y'all want some hope. I'm gonna give y'all some real good hope right here because I just thought about something. Because B-Bird slipped something in. He didn't know he did it when we were talking about the draft and the GMs. The hope is that Jerry, who's a egomaniac, Jerry is a prideful person. And Jerry has a thirst. Notice what I'm saying here. He has a thirst to try to prove his point, which means he's going to be diehard set, and I believe this, on making sure, because he knows he only get one shot at this. 12-20 as of now is also the way that he's going to try to prove to the fan base and the NFL that trading away Parsons was right.
Yes.
Y'all hear what I just said?
Yes.
And so the urgency of that trade, of making that, because the jury is still out on who won the trade.
Yeah.
If you don't do what you're supposed to do with 12-20, or if you trade up, or if you trade down, whatever you're gonna do, you only get this 1 year to get it done. You got to hit the home run. So the urgency are picking the right people, I'm trying to give somebody some hope this time. And I'm leaning on this. I know he wants to change that narrative because as of now, people will say the Packers have won the trade. We ain't picked 12 and 20 yet. So we don't know who those players are. Once we draft those guys and then see them play, then the trade really ain't gonna be answered until about another 2-3 years.
3 years, yeah.
But you got to at least get the pick right. So I'm saying that Jerry is trying to prove a point. So I'm trying to get some of y'all hope. I think that he's going to really, the urgency, let me say it like this. I believe the urgency to get it right will be there right here in this draft. That's about as much hope I can get.
Let me say one thing. I'm gonna give you some more hope on that, right? That Quentin Williams trade does not happen unless he's embarrassed. Remember, at that same time, we were getting 30 or 40 points scored on us.
Not nothing.
And Michael Parsons actually was the player of the month. So juxtapose those two things, he had to go do something. Now that's a move that Jerry would not have done for a player of that ilk at that point in time in the season, because he got to be moved to do that. So you're saying that he's going to be his embarrassment, his ego is going to make him do something. That's what I got hope in. That's my hope, that his ego is going to drive him to do something that he needs to do, right? Like that he wouldn't normally he wouldn't do outside of his normal self.
That's where the Crosby thing come into play.
That's where it comes in. That's right.
Yeah.
And because that's why I still got hope, man, because this dude ego is so big, man. Hey, the reason why we won Super Bowls because he was ridiculed when he came in as a hillbilly and a country bumpkin, and he wanted to show them, right? I'm gonna show y'all, and I love that about him. But that's that urgency that you got to have. He lost that after he won those championships, right? And then he understood that winning was hard, and he said, "I'm just gonna make money." So right now, man, we might have this opportunity, just as you said, where he's kind of embarrassed and he wants to win this and want to shove it back in Micah's face and NFL face. Hey, to do that, you got to get players and you got to win, man. So I definitely, that hope that you're saying is actually something to hold on to.
I think that's a reality, actually.
Yeah, it is.
His ego is too big not to be trying to. He know he got to get this right.
Correct.
He knows he has to get the right play.
This trade could be it could define his legacy. It could be part of his legacy, right?
Well, one thing about it, we know for sure it will. Hate to look into the future, but this little trade here, the trade of Micah is going to define the next 5 to 6, 7 years.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah,
no question. What do you think about that, Joe?
I agree. I have a lot of hope in him for this draft. I think what Jerry should do, he should pull Will McClay in the office to the side next week and just say, what he should tell Will McClay is, Kels, he should tell Will McClay this. He should tell Will McClay, I want you and your team to put this board together without thinking about the Micah trade. What I want you to do is build your draft board. You're under no pressure. The pressure is not on you because of the Micah trade. Let's just take that off the table altogether. Put your best board together. We're going to pick the players that you think should be at 12 and 20. Forget the Micah trade. Forget that altogether. That's what he should tell Will McClay. That way Will McClay can just do his job with no pressure. And then just let the chips fall. At 12 and 20, pick the best players. If you can move up to get a good player, just do it. And then the way Jerry can really make things right with this Micah trade is just changing the way he does free agency. That's the piece that he's missing. I think the draft, the night of the 28th or whenever the draft is over that week, I think we're gonna all be good with whoever they pick. Even though this draft doesn't have a lot of, grades that the normal drafts have, I still think there's some good players in this draft. If you do that scenario that Kels talked about earlier, trading down to 18, picking up a 2, you can get good players. It's going to help you win this year, big time in B-Bird. I mean, you just got to pick them. So I think we're gonna be good with this draft. Think we're gonna come out on top of this thing, and just looking forward to see how it all plays out.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you checked it out, but we done put a lot out of here for not having no notes.
Yeah. Made it work.
We don't put a lot out here. And I actually, but what I just said earlier, I'm about to make my own individual show about that. I think the ego of Jerry Jones and the embarrassment and trying to make it right because of Michael Parsons being gone. I think that's something worth talking about. Guys, y'all got anything else before we shut it down?
I did want to share something with you guys, and it is Kappa and Noop related. We gotta always throw that in there.
Yes, sir.
So B-Bird, is your uncle still living?
So that's not my uncle. That's my no, he passed away, man.
Okay.
And he's actually my aunt married his brother.
Okay.
So I'm on the other side. Yeah.
Gotcha. So what was his name again?
Wilford Milburn.
So Wilford Milburn.
I mean, no. Wilford is my uncle. Okay. Rod Milburn was the hurler.
Okay. So you mentioned him earlier, and it just caught my attention because in my Kappa chapter, the silver medalist from the '72 Olympics is Thomas Hill.
Oh, really?
And he's a noob. He's in my chapter. I just talked to Brother Hill last week. Yeah, so he's a silver medalist from '72, and of course we know the '72 Olympics is when they had the Israeli athletes. They were held hostage.
Yeah,
actually ended up killing all of them, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good movie. It's called Munich. The name of the movie is Munich, and it's about the '72 thing. Something I'm gonna tell you guys is kind of funny. So the '72 Olympics, my dad bought a color TV. That was the first color TV we had. The '72 Olympics. But yeah, Thomas Hill is a silver medalist from the Olympics in '92, big time, and he's a noob. He's in my chapter.
Wow.
And the hurdles.
Let's have him living, matter of fact, still here.
So me and my son, we're gonna try to do a show with him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Get him on. But man, it's a great show. I think that we, really talked about this draft, talked about the front office. I mean, we just keeping it 100, man. We keeping it real. We've been around for a long time. We know what good GMs look like. We know what good football looks like. I mentioned when we first started the show, I've seen 8 Super Bowls, so I know what a good team looks like. Yeah. And the other thing is, we were not winning the Super Bowl every year, but we did this on an earlier show that we had. I think B-Bird, you were on this show. I've seen 14 NFC Championship games, and they all happened before I was 35 years old.
Yeah.
So in 35 years, I saw 14 NFC Championship games. In my son's 30 years, he hasn't seen any. So that's a crazy stat. And keep in mind, in the last 30 years, the Seahawks have been to 4. We talked about the Eagles earlier. They've been to 2. They 1-1. The 49ers have been to 3 recently. They're 0-3. But yeah, we know what it looks like. So hopefully this will be the year for Jerry to do the right thing. Pull McKay, Will McClay to the side and just tell him, just put your board together. We're gonna go by your board. You're picking the players, and I think we're gonna end up good. I think this draft, you do the right thing, you can get 4 or 5 players that can contribute this year and can put us in the NFC Championship game this year. So that's my final thought.
Tell everybody where you at, Joe.
So you can find me at Cowboy Joe 64 on Twitter. Sometime I'm on Twitter a lot. I get a lot of heat, just keeping it 100 on there. And then you can find my son and I on Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talk, or just type in Fastcast. And we got a show there that me and my son have created. And we kind of growing our channel. We're getting ready to redo our studios where we both do our shows from. So hopefully you guys will be able to see that in the next few weeks. And I won't be dealing with the green screen fading out. We can't figure out that whole thing there is about. But in our new studios, I won't be using the green screen, so that's going to be a lot better quality for us as far as the presentation. So appreciate you guys joining, and always glad to be on with these guys.
Yes, sir. B-Bird.
So I guess my overall deal on the draft is F them picks. Now F is forget. Just let y'all know that.
Yeah.
F is in forget them picks, man. So I'm about, man, urgency. The now we have a quarterback that's ready to win right now. He's playing at an all-pro level, man. You cannot waste this time. You cannot think that, oh, we'll just pick up another guy. It doesn't work that way. As Cleveland, ask some of these other teams that have not had a quarterback in forever, man. You can be in purgatory for a long time. Let's go all in, man, and try to win this thing now. It's my mindset that if we get a impact pass rusher on the ilk of a Crosby or Garrett, that just transforms our whole team. I don't mind whatever we got to give to get those guys, but we need that type of guy. With Gary on the other side, now our front line is just crazy. Get the linebackers settled. We got good safety, so I think we can go that route, man. So I am of the ilk that we got 2 or 3 years right now, man, and we need to get this thing going right now. The urgency need to be shown by the front office instead of building for the long term. We've always building for the future. When is the future now? It's never. And we're always building for 4 or 5 years out. I don't care nothing about that, man. We got to win now, man, because other GMs are trying to win right now. So y'all can catch me on at B-Bird Cowboys on Twitter. I did get a late start today because I didn't hit the button for my channels. But no matter, I just have a great time on with these guys, my brothers, man. And we come on every week. That's 2 weeks in a row. Hopefully we can make it 3 next week. Also, too, man, we're trying to get together a draft show with me, Cowboy Joe, Jules, and Bryce Bird, my son, man. Because I think Big Time is already committed for another show on that night. So we're trying to get a little something together. So we may be doing something then. So y'all be looking out for that.
Awesome, man. Listen, Big Time Show, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. TikTok, everywhere. Just type in the Big Time Show, wherever you're watching from. Subscribe to everybody here. And just tune in. Hit those live notification button or the bell. That way when we come on live, of course, you'll probably see it on your phone. Etc. My deal about the draft, I gave y'all a little hope. I usually don't give it to you, but I jumped out of that real quick. I'm back to myself. Here I am. I'm just waiting to see what we're gonna do. I'm not getting hype about it. So far I have been 100% right this whole off season. I just know the Jones family. Let's just see what they're gonna come up with. Still got a little time. There's still moves that can be made. You're hearing, quite sure a lot of you guys tuned in. A lot of you guys heard about the potential of Patrick Queen, linebacker. You heard about Brooks still getting a little smoke. You've heard about possible edge. We'll just see. We'll just see where we are as we head into the draft. Let's see. There's talk. I've heard fan base talking. I heard them talk about trading Pickens away and all that type of mess. So, once you got a variety of a bunch of perspectives that may, that I'm not going to say that could happen, but it is what it is. So we will see as we get closer and closer to the draft. We're going to be here for you. Hope you guys subscribe to everybody because they have their own individual shows, and you can share what their perspectives are, just like I have mine. But hopefully we'll be back together again this time next week. This is our night when we try to come on, but if we don't, trust me, we'll try to come on Saturday and all that. We'll try to find a way to get it done.
So Big Time, are you going to be on with those the DC Universe on a Friday after the draft?
No, but for you guys, listen, if I'm on the show, I'll leave and jump on with y'all no matter what part I am, just to do it. So it's not an issue. for me.
So our regular Friday. So after the draft, that should be fun.
Well, the thing about what we did last year, we was on, man, for oh my God, we was on for the entire first round.
That's a long time, bro.
A long time.
That's 4 hours now.
Yeah.
Look, I'm on, but with a bunch of young guys. I don't get money, but I just got to say it. Shoot, I gotta go use the bathroom. I can't sit here 2-3 hours and look. I done had 3 back surgeries. My back gets stiff. I can't sit here like that. So I doubt very seriously I'll be on for all of the hours. What we did last year, we all took teams, the entire team. So that way, when a team came up, they'll say, well, big time, you covered for the Cleveland Browns. What are they looking for, etc.? Who are they locking in on? And we had that for all 32 teams. We didn't have 32 content creators, but some of us had 2 teams, and and it worked out very, very, very well. But again, I'll come on with you guys. Y'all know me. All I need is the link. I'll show up, so it ain't no big deal. But ladies and gentlemen, we getting close. It's almost draft time. All right. It's time to get excited. Y'all still doing mock drafts and all that. You know what? You might as well just throw these mock drafts away. I'm just serious. It ain't gonna be what you think it's gonna be.
No.
All it takes is one crazy move to throw the whole thing off.
One move. That's all it's gonna take.
Yeah.
One drop. One drop. Or once somebody moves up.
That's what throws it off when they move up. Yeah.
It's gonna be over with. So I'm not going to might as well throw that away. But look, it's fun doing it. It's fun talking about it. Appreciate all you guys go in the chat from wherever you're watching from. We appreciate all you guys hanging with us. Those of you that are on TikTok, if you have a YouTube account or Facebook account, I hope that you would subscribe to these gentlemen that are here, B-Bird and Cowboy Joe. Hopefully you guys will do that for us. We're just trying to grow our channels. All right. That's it for us tonight. I appreciate all you guys. Y'all have a great evening. We'll see y'all next week. Or look forward to for some of us during the week. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the one and only.
What's up, Chris from Frankly Football?
Hey, look, Chris. This has been the Cowboys OG Podcast. We out. We'll see y'all.
Wait, take care, guys.
All right, let me give them some bounce too. We out.